everyone, I'm Valerie and welcome back to What Valerie Makes. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a needle sharp box subscription unboxing. But also I'm going to be doing the reveal as well. So it's going to show the progress of getting the box, looking to see what's inside, and then the finished product at the end. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so just a little bit about Needle Sharp. I have done an unboxing before, and I'll link that video up in the cards if you haven't seen it. I really love Needle Sharp. I've been getting their boxes for, I think, well over a year now. But yeah, so I really enjoy it. It's very easy to like skip a month if you need to skip a month. There's always a couple options per category. And yeah, I really enjoy it. And not only is it like kits and stuff like that, but it's also, Needle Sharp is a website where you can buy fabrics, patterns, notions. They really have it all. The quality of the fabrics are always so good. I've never had any kind of complaints sewing up the garments. Or sewing up with the fabrics, really. And yeah, so that's a little bit about Needle Sharp. But let's get into the unboxing.
Once I thought your love was true, then you found somebody new, and now I'm sewing patches on my heart.
You guys first, because I already know what it's going to look like. So it always comes wrapped up in this really nice tissue paper. So yeah, get into it. And then this is what it looks like when you open it. It comes with like a little thank you card. It also has care instructions on the back. It also has like any kind of recommendations about the fabric and what you should do with it. It always comes with a little label. So that's on top. And then it comes with the pattern, which this is the Evie Skirt by Tessuti. And I have sewn a couple of Tessuti patterns before, and I really love it. And I'm really into the bias skirt right now. So I'm excited to give this a go. And to be honest, I almost bought this pattern not too long ago, but now I have it. So that's exciting. This is nice. This is just a little bias cut sewing guide that's included in this month's box. Yeah, this is really cool. I love having these because sometimes, even though I haven't done much bias cut garments before, so yeah, I'll give this a read through before I sew it up. And then you always get like a little gift. And this is a beeswax food wrap. So this is really nice. I like these, like reusable wraps, so that you don't just throw away plastic wrap all the time. So here is some interfacing, which is very nice. It comes with this stay tape stuff. I think that's what it's truly called. some sweet treats, little Starburst. And then in this little notions bag, which I try to save, but I just ripped, you get your needle that's appropriate for the fabric type. So this is Microtex needle, so that it, I mean, if you're using this like slinky fabric, so you don't want any like catches or snags in your fabric. So Microtex needle. I've got a zipper that matches the fabric. And then a little twill tape that's so cute. It has this little scalloped edge on it. It's elastic, actually, with a little scalloped edge on it. And the thread to match your fabric. And now, this fabric is beautiful. And it is this emerald green. It's a polyester fabric, but it's a satin feel. I usually am not a big fan of polyester, but with a skirt, since it's not, I'm not a fan of polyester because I sweat a lot. And so sometimes when I have sleeves in polyester, it's just a recipe for just continuous sweat.
Now, this, of course, you can get ahead of time done, and then you can either put it under a low broiler or you can put it in the oven and bake it.
So, but a skirt, no problems whatsoever, and it feels delightful. So that is everything that I got in my box, and I will be very excited to sew this up. Now, what do I got to do next before I get into it? Because I want to make this right away. So the recommendations is to pre-wash the fabric before cutting, and always test launder a swatch. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to throw it in my wash. If this is the first time you're using this pattern, it's highly recommended that you sew a test garment, which is true, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna go for it. Needle Sharp is not responsible for contents of this box once the fabric is washed and cut, which is smart. Also, I said emerald green, but technically it's called bottle green satin. And yeah, machine wash cold, hang to dry, which is what I'm about to do right now so that by tomorrow I can sew up this pattern. So let me just open this pattern too so that we can see what we're working with here. So Evie bias skirt. This floaty and flared midi length bias skirt pattern includes two versions. View A is finished with a bound waistline and side zipper opening, and View B is a pull-on version with scalloped elastic waist. Instructions are provided to achieve a narrow or fringed hem, linen only. This bias skirt is drafted to flatter the body and looks fabulous worn casually or dressed up. So that's why we got the elastic and the zipper, so you can decide on which view you want to make. I'll probably do the zipper one, but yeah, so I'll probably do View A as mine.
That's A. Starts with letter A. That's A. Starts with letter A. A.
I don't know if there's anything else that I need to say. I need to get this in the wash and then sew it up, and then I will reveal the finished garment. And for you, that's going to be in 1 second. But for me, hopefully, it'll be tomorrow, and then I can record it. So yeah, I'll see you soon with the finished garment.
Did you check out all the words that were on display? Now let's see more about the letter A.
And I'm back. While that was 1 second for you, that was about a couple days for me. As soon as I was done filming the intro bit, threw the fabric right in the wash, and I hung it up to dry, and it was dry the very next day. So that was great. So then the next day, I laid out all of the pattern pieces on my kitchen island, and I traced out the skirt. So there was tracing paper provided in this month's box, which was really great. But I have a roll of the Swedish sewing tracing paper. I'll put the name. There's a specific name, but I like this one. It's a little bit heavier duty. It also kind of like nicely clings to the fabric in a way that like it's not shifty or slippery. So I like that too when I'm trying to like cut out the fabric with the pattern that I've traced. So I did do that. So I traced out the skirt. It does have like the folded, it has the folded piece on the pattern itself, but then it tells you in the instructions if you want like a very, you want that pattern piece to be like precisely on the bias. So they say it's good to like trace out the entire skirt. So that's what I did, just, you know, following instructions for that part. But overall, it was a very, it was not a very complicated sew. I've only done one bias cut dress before, and it was like really early on in my sewing practice, like a few years ago. And the dress didn't come out as well as I was hoping, but I would like to revisit that pattern. I believe it was a paper cut pattern, if I remember correctly, but it was mostly like the top issue, but I really liked the way that it fit me over the hips. So as I throw my pattern. So I would like to revisit that dress at some point, but back to the Evie skirt. What I did is I traced out a size 12 at the hips. That's not true. A size 12 at the waist, and then I graded out to a 14 at the hip, and I think that that came out really well. I did take in the waist probably another, I took it in, I would say a half of an inch total. So I did nip it in a little bit because it was just like slightly too big. So I don't think that I could have gotten away with a size 10 at the waist. So I'm happy just to like take that out while I'm trying it on. But yeah, so that's what I did. Like I said, I cleared off my kitchen island in my downstairs, and I laid out the fabric like flat, and I laid my pieces on it, and I didn't have really any problems since didn't want to take my cutting mat down there, so down in the kitchen, which I don't know why, but I didn't want to. And so I just like pinned it, and then I used my good scissors and just cut out the pattern piece. I didn't have any snags at all, but I will say that when I didn't inspect my fabric after I washed it, and like after I hung it up to dry, all that stuff, I might have snagged my fabric like as I was laying it over my kitchen, the kitchen island, because after I had cut out all the pieces, I got back up into my sewing room and started working on it, and I saw that there was like the smallest snag. I won't even call it a snag. I don't even know. I would say a snag, but it's like made sure to put that one in the back so it wasn't in the front. I'll put up a picture or a video of it. So that was a little disappointing. I don't think anyone would ever really notice it, but I did, and I'm almost 100% sure that the fabric did not come with a snag, and just between washing it, hanging it up to dry, cutting it out, I have like, you know, it definitely could have happened during then. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but I still really love the outcome. The instructions are pretty good, but I will say that I'm a much more, like, I really take to video. So I did find a video tutorial and kind of just did a sew along with that. And that was on Minerva's YouTube. And I will link the tutorial that I followed down below. I found it very helpful. I watched it all first so that I can kind of get my mind around what the sewing process is going to be like. And then I restarted it and sewed right along with her. And that was great. There was one thing about the video, though, that I felt like could have used a little bit more explanation, was just the ends of the biased waistband. At the end, she didn't really go through how to finish off the ends. But I did look in the instructions, and the picture showed me clearly on how to do it, so I didn't have any problems. But that is the one thing that the video was lacking, so I had to pause it and like look through my instructions. And that's what I did there. I did not use the tape that came with the kit. Now let me tell you why. I have a friend who made up the skirt already. She subscribes to the Needle Sharp box as well, and she had already made the skirt. Shout out Cam, hi. And she said that she didn't like it and she didn't really think it was necessary. So what I did instead is I just put some lightweight interfacing like on the zip line and on the top of the waist. And then I just kind of made sure, because all the finishing is done and it's all covered anyway, so you're not really going to see it. And I think that's the point of the tear away stuff, is that like you sew it in and then you can like tear it away and there's no visible like interfacing or whatever. So Miles is mad because he's downstairs and wants to be up here with me. So I did not use this, but I did use interfacing. I was a little bit nervous about putting in the zip because I have never put in a zip with like this slinky of a fabric before. But I did it. I do use the double-sided tape when I do invisible zips so that I can like get it right down on there nicely. And I find that it actually holds it better than basting. Because I find sometimes when I do baste things, I kind of like, because it's such a long stitch, I can kind of get like caught off guard a little bit and like move. So I like the double-sided tape to do the invisible zip. So that's what I did for this skirt. And what else? I just did like a mini hem at the bottom, which is instructed. And I really love it. I think that it's a great skirt pattern. I'm happy to have this in my collection now. Love Tessuti patterns. I think that their style and their pattern, after the couple patterns that I've made from them, really align with kind of like my aesthetic and my kind of like where I want to go with sewing. So I'm happy that they're here, that they exist, and that I have this skirt in my collection now. I do have some fabric left, and it was a really nice, I was nervous. I did use my Microtex needle that was in the box, and I'm happy to have this. I didn't do the elasticated version. I did do the zip, so I have a piece of elastic now to throw in my stash, and maybe I will do that one at some point as well. Yeah, I really like it. I really like the style. I'm pairing it with just my West Ham black t-shirt. This is kind of how I pictured I'd style it, just kind of like making it more casual because it is a very, it does seem very dressy. Like it seems like a very dressy fabric, which it is. I mean, it is. But I like to take those kinds of fabrics and that kind of style and make it more casual, you know, bring it a step down, make it more everyday. So I do like to play around with that style. So that's what I did today. Little sports top, my West Ham top, and this beautiful bias cut shirt. And I'm probably just gonna wear it with either my white sneakers, or I might throw on some Doc Martens. It was so lovely out today, and I was very excited to just like go outside and take some pictures. And my partner had to work, and I was like, as soon as you get to work, let's go. And it got so dark, and it's like about to rain. So unfortunately, I'm not going to get any like outside, like sunshiny pictures in it. But I think I'm going to go play some pinball. So you might see me in my element. It's been my new favorite place to go. I go at least once a week, sometimes twice. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. I hope you like this. And I'm trying to do, when I was thinking about, I didn't want to just do another like needle sharp unboxing. I mean, those are fun, don't get me wrong. I love an unboxing video, but I kind of wanted to show you a little bit more of the process. And then maybe even next time when I get another box, I will show, like I'll do a little bit of recording when I'm choosing which box I want to get for that month. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I want to do it a little bit more of like what the experience actually is, instead of just like, here's the box, fun. And it is, but I kind of want to show you the whole process. So, and if you have any questions about needle sharp at all, throw it down in the comments and I would be happy to answer for you. I've been buying from Mary and her company for a few years now, which I said in my last unboxing video, and I very much appreciate her business and what she's bringing to the sewing community. So yeah, and again, highly recommend the Evie bias skirt pattern. And if you are looking for because there's a bunch, right? You're like, well, there's so many, how do I know which one to get? Because that's kind of why I never bought one, because I'm like, oh, there's so many bias cut skirts, like which one's the best? If you like a sewing pattern company and they fit you well, get that one. But I do highly recommend the Tessuti Evie skirt. If you are unsure, or if you've been like, what's the word? It's like
indecision, the inability to make a decision quickly.
That's what I do. That's what goes in my brain a lot. It's like, oh, can't make a decision because you don't want to make the wrong one. If you're like that, just get this pattern. I would not steer you wrong. I think that is it for me today, and I feel like I'm forgetting something. Am I forgetting something? My pattern, my fabric, scissors. Have any questions? I think that's it. Okay. So yeah, I think that's it for me today, and until next time, bye.